morning, everyone. This is Firefly reporting from the Royal Navy aircraft carrier HMS Argus in the Barent Sea in, what's supposed to be a Hawker hurricane, but of course it is not. Here in DCS, we don't have the hurricane yet. So I'm sitting in a P-47 to fly today's mission. I want to recreate a historic mission which was flown by RAF number 151 wing on the 6th of September in 1941, when a number of hurricanes took off from the carrier in the Barent Sea to fly to an airfield near Murmansk, where they were stationed for a number of weeks to help defend against German forces threatening to cut the supply lines near Murmansk and maybe take Murmansk as well. So let me take you through this mission. At first I want to give a bit more background with some maps, etc. Then go through the flight planning for this mission and then fly the mission. I hope you have fun following me on this, and see you in the planning room. In the summer of 1941, the Soviet Union was attacked by Nazi Germany in Operation Barbarossa, and Winston Churchill had promised Joseph Stalin support for the defense against Germany. And this was done in large part by the Lend-Lease supply convoys that were using the Arctic seas north of Norway and the Barent Sea to bring a lot of supplies to Murmansk and also to Arkhangelsk, here in the eastern part of our DC app Kola Map. And from Murmansk the supplies were transported by railway south to where the action was. But a second promise was to send actually British troops to the front lines to support in the defense as well. In 1941, the railroad from Murmansk south was threatened by German forces, mountain divisions, and Finnish forces and combined forces all over this area here in Karelia. They were pushing hard to the east to reach the railway lines and also to capture maybe Murmansk. And in the defense of this, a fighter wing was established first in late summer, when the Battle of Britain was won by the British forces over England. The freed airplanes, some of them the Hurricanes, were used to establish RAF number 151 wing, and it was sent by convoy, by aircraft carriers to the region. Some of them were shipped to Arkhangelsk, where actually the planes were assembled first and then flown to an airfield near Murmansk. Others, they just directly took off from the carrier, from HMS Argus, and flew directly to this airfield, which was called Vaenga Airfield. And this is the mission we want to recreate today. The threatening attack against the railway and Murmansk was called Operation Silver Fox. You can look this up on Wikipedia. Also, you can read more about number 151 wing on Wikipedia, and the whole operation was called Force Benedict or Operation Benedict. I'm getting most of my information from this great book by one of the pilots who took part in this mission, who was part of this wing, Eric Carter. The book is called Force Benedict, and it's quite a good read. I recommend it to anyone interested in this. Vaenga Airfield is located just northeast of Murmansk, and today it's Severomorsk 1. And on the DCS Kola Map, this is a full modern military airfield. So we are not using this, of course. Back then it was only more or less a grass field with some huts, and they only started really working on this airfield after the planes had arrived in 1941. Luckily, I found a spot just west of Severomorsk 1, which also used to be an airfield, and it's not really modeled on the DCS Kola Map, but you can still see lots of where everything was, the runway and where the planes were stored, etc. So we can see this hopefully when we land there, so I can show it to you. So we use just this stand-in airfield in this area here, where you can see the mouse arrow. Of course, I have to make some compromises here in order to be able to do this mission here today. First of all, HMS Argus was a makeshift carrier, which doesn't look a lot like the other real, let's say, real carriers, aircraft carriers with the superstructure here, etc. So I'm using just this carrier from one of the mods we are using. So this is what is different. Of course, we don't have the Hawker Hurricane, sadly, in DCS, so I'm flying my P-47 today with the RAF markings. Yeah, and I already talked about the airfield which we are using. Okay, so let's go to planning the flight actually. On 6th of September in 1941, the pilots on HMS Argus had few orders according to the book by Eric Carter. They were to take off in flights of 6 aircraft and circle the aircraft carrier once, then fly south towards a destroyer, and on their way they were to set their gyro compass to 0 degrees or to 180 degrees due south, and once they had reached land they were tasked to turn right and continue along the shoreline, and then Vaenga Airfield was supposed to be on the left shore a few miles in. So these were quite few instructions on how to get there, and of course we have to plan this a little bit more thoroughly to actually find it. So the first part we will just do as ordered. We take off from the aircraft carrier, circle the aircraft carrier, and then try to locate the destroyer. In our case, actually 2 destroyers. We use one destroyer to the south as an initial point, and from this destroyer we orient to the second one to the south, and on this flight leg we will set our gyro compass to 180 degrees. And after 9 minutes we are supposed to reach this second destroyer, and from there we continue on further south. So we do have a bit of wind here from the southeasterly direction, so we use this to calculate our wind drift, and using an indicated airspeed of 200 miles per hour, etc., we come up with a total flight time of about 45 minutes. For these 115 nautical miles, we're supposed to burn around 90 gallons of fuel. Once we have reached the second destroyer, we turn onto a heading of 195 degrees according to our gyro for in 23 minutes actually. You have seen the weather, it's quite clouded, so we have a little bit of rain, so we are not going to see the coastline from the beginning. Hopefully this heading takes us to Kildin Island, to the eastern tip of this island. When we've reached this, we again turn a bit to starboard to 250 degrees to find the mouth of Murmansk Bay, the inlet, after 6.5 minutes about, and then another 6.5 minutes almost due south to find our airfield. It's a makeshift airfield with a rough surface, so Eric Cotter wrote that taking off and landing on this was not easy for an experienced pilot, and the surface on our DCS Kola Map on this airfield is exactly like this. So I managed to take off and land on this maybe 1 in 3 times I attempted, so it's quite a challenge, at least for me. Yeah, once we reach this airfield, we should see some green flares, and we are to approach the airfield and land from a northerly direction, again due to the wind. One more thing, the magnetic declination here, this way up north, is quite significant. It's about 11 degrees near the convoy and 9 degrees east near around our airport, our airfield. And yeah, we don't really need this today because we are setting the gyro to true heading, but just in case, I don't know, something goes wrong, our gyro is screwed up, etc., we have to consider an average of 10 degrees declination to the east, so everything we read on the compass, we have to add 10 degrees to get the true heading. So when we want to fly 250, we have to set the compass to 240 to make up for the 10 degrees declination. So this is about it for the planning. Let's head to the cockpit and set up our aircraft for takeoff. Okay, now let's fly this mission. Parking brake is set. I need to get some fuel, or rather just the fuel. Request takeoff.
012,
yes.
Request takeoff.
How much? Start with about 50% empty.
Request refueling.
No armament.
Request
Copy.
rearming.
So we need about 200 gallons
Copy.
of fuel. Setting the cooler shutters here. Pitot heat on, landing lights on. Don't forget the trim. RPM is max. Flaps a bit down. Till we are unlocked, we still need to get into our takeoff position back there. We can turn on the gun sight
Refueling complete.
and adjust the seat position. Close the cowl flaps a bit. Which fuel do we have? Not enough.
Request refueling.
What else?
Request
Copy.
rearming.
Altitude about 30
Copy.
feet.
Rearming complete. Refueling complete.
Okay, now fuel is looking good, just above 200 gallons. Ground crew, rearming complete. Is it? Let's see. To get mad at me, let's start rolling. Tail wheel is unlocked. Always easy on the throttle here. Moving on deck. Oh, that's the wrong flag. We are going to ignore this. Almost 10 o'clock. Let's hope this is enough. Tail wheel locked. Horizon here. Okay, let's take off. Temperatures are okay. It's 10 o'clock. Stopwatch. Let's build up some power. Let's go. Come on, you can do it. Gear up. Okay. That was not a good takeoff. Flight. 50 miles per hour. Okay, power back down. Let's go towards 80 degrees. We already saw the first destroyer ahead. Adjustments here, the gyro 280. The first destroyer is only exciting takeoff. And actually back then they also had trouble taking off with the land-based hurricanes. Okay, where's the second destroyer? If we don't see it, we might screw up our gyro calibration. Just passed the first destroyer. We're not seeing the second one. Ah, there it is. Okay. Let's set our gyro to 180 degrees. As good as possible. Okay. It's not working out so well here. Still need to reduce speed. Need to go 200 miles per hour. Indicated airspeed. Okay. Almost 5 minutes flight time. Okay, now let's leave the gyro in this. Need to be hyper precise here. Okay, speed is 200 mph indicated. That's good. We're flying south. Now over the destroyer. We are supposed to turn to a heading of 195 for 23 minutes. Here. Looking nice. 95. Stopwatch. We made up some time here, a bit faster in the beginning, so I'm also expecting 2 Hurricanes / P-47s to join us here in a second. Looks like they were also able to take off over there, following us the distance. They will catch up soon. So now I'm just watching my gyro, my airspeed, just speed a little bit, altitude a bit over 1,000 feet. It's also good. I think travel altitude is supposed to be 1,600 feet. That's good. Up. Gyro 195, compass 185. That's good. That's the 10 degrees difference we expected. So it looks like our gyro calibration is good. Speed a bit slow. Let's increase power a bit. Okay, let's arm the guns in case we run into some Messerschmitts. Still about 20 minutes until the next waypoint. Eastern tip of Kilden Island. There's flight. Slowly catching up. Okay. Calming down a little bit after this takeoff. It's messed up takeoff. Temperatures good. Let's recalibrate the horizon here. $195, $185 there, looking good. I expect to be on point, reaching the island. So I will leave my landing lights on, because then my companions here will also leave theirs on, in case we go through a cloud. I could also use the recognition lights. I'm not too familiar with them, so let's not mess around with them. Okay, altitude is good, 1,500 feet. To correct a bit to starboard. Let's have a look at the map. So we are still in the initial phase of this flight leg here, trying to reach the island. Okay, we can already see some land ahead. It's good, but lots of clouds today, just as it was in September of 1941. looking good, just below 200. And of course here. Speed is good. Trim looks good. Coordinated flight. Heading good. Hitting some rain here. I like these new weather settings in DCS. Light rain. Number 2. This is, I think. I wonder what the pilots felt like back then. Starting off with the ICC, they did have some contact with a Ju-88 on the way there. Some alarms, and now they're just flying south, hoping to find a makeshift airfield in the middle of nowhere in the Russian taiga, in their trusty Hurricanes. And worse weather was to come. So heading is okay. Oh, there is an island, it looks like, and this would be the eastern tip. Could be we are on point there, on the spot. Here we are. Also 195. What's going on? Of course, magnetic declination is changing as we fly south. It's becoming less and less, but only by 1 and later 2 degrees. So correction is not as much. Maybe it's already the, what is it called, the progression of the compass. Because our magnetic compass should show about 10 degrees less. Oh, no, it's okay again. 95, 85 it was just a second ago. Yeah, I think we're good. Still 10 minutes to target to next waypoint. Just a bit too fast here. Looks okay. Of course, there are a number of islands on the northern shore here. And some features which might look similar to what we are looking for. So we actually have to get there and then look at the shape of the island to make sure we are in the right spot. Yeah, some of the pilots taking off from HMS Argus with the hurricanes, they actually damaged their landing gear. Because I think they put some ramps on it, so they were like given an upward direction when taking off, and that kind of slammed the deck into the landing gear. So some of them were even flying with their landing gear down to Vaenga. The first and the second pilot, that's what happened to them, and then the other ones removed this ramp, if I remember this correctly, and then they took off without that much of a problem. Okay, could be this is our destination. There's another one that looks like what I'm looking for, and there's a small tiny island in front of me. Let's have a look at the map. Small tiny island. We have this and this feature and the small island, so what to do? So this, okay, this feature here, I think I'm seeing there. So I believe this is our island there. Let's go there. Still 4 minutes to the waypoint. Okay, there's another feature coming into sight, these two small peninsulas. That could be these two here. Let's see if we can see this. Be there, right. Or here, this one. This and this point. Okay, could be. We are 3 minutes early, but that might just be. So now it's another 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes along the coastline here. Heading is 250 on the gyro, 240 on the magnetic compass. 250, yes. 240, no. Let's see how this develops. Stop. started for the next waypoint. Okay, let's look at the land features. Yeah, we have this peninsula, that looks good. We have another one ahead here. Yeah, I am confident we are on the right spot. So 250. Maybe more like 250. Magnetic. Yeah, 260. Okay. 250 magnetic, because we are a bit south from where we're supposed to be. So let's fly 260 on the directional gyro. Speed is okay. Altitude could be a bit higher. Okay, now this is the Kola Peninsula. And Kildin Island. Any structures here? No. Just some roads. To go. This should be Murmansk Inlet. Temperatures are good. Fuel is good. Okay, let's test the guns. Could be we are jumped by Messerschmitts. Guns are working. Testing. Oh, there's a little island. Let's see if this is on the map. Yes, it is. Here it is. Good. Good, good, good. Just a tad too much to the south here. Oh, there's a ship. Yeah, this is the inlet or the Murmansk Bay where the river is coming out. Yeah. Okay. That sight must have been a relief to the pilots of number 151 wing as well. Dry feet and the airfield almost in sight. Two more minutes. So we want to reach this point here. is this here. Okay, looking good. Just like to go a bit higher here. So after reaching this waypoint we have another 6.5 minutes. Yeah, so we are a bit ahead of schedule. We are supposed to arrive at 10:45. 6 minutes, so that's 10:39 when we should have reached this waypoint here. We will be a bit early. 4 minutes early already. So it's not a problem that we are a bit slower. Okay, that's the inlet. Okay, time is up. 6.5 minutes and we have reached the waypoint. So now last heading is 180 degrees. Let's say 7 more minutes. So at 10:42 we should arrive over the airfield. So we're flying over land a bit, okay. Yeah, so this is exactly our heading here. 170 on the magnetic compass, 180 on the directional gyro. Good. Is good. Temperatures okay. Fuel 150, a bit too heavy for my taste. Shouldn't have been as generous. Okay, I guess these houses were not there in 1941. So there is Murmansk somewhere. Then south of the ship there is a small island. What's that supposed to tell me? Here is the island and just south of it is the airfield. There's other islands there, Severomorsk. And yeah, this is what really used to be the Vaenga Airfield. Okay, so we can just stay a bit west of this island and then we should be right on top of the airfield. arrival in 3 minutes. Well, not scheduled, adapted arrival. There's the island. There's a lake. Yes, and we have to pass the lake. So the lake has to be on our left. Can we see it? There's another lake, another lake. Guess there are plenty of lakes here. So I have to return to the original heading of 180 degrees. There's a town here, and we do have a town north of the airfield. Let's open the cockpit, the canopy. Ooh, this looks like it. Yeah, there's some structures there, looks like military. Do we see any flares being shot? Some airplanes there, some I-16s. Vaenga Airfield is also home to a Soviet squadron, fighter squadron, equipped with I-16s. Speed 150. Now let's not crash. There's the flare. Yes. Okay, let's land. I think our flight of P-47s/Hurricanes has left us already. They cannot land at this airfield because it's not a real airfield, so increase RPM, gear down, flaps down a bit, tail wheel is locked. Okay, now let's not mess this up. Some guards down here, very well. Let's get familiar with the airfield here. Let's do one flyover. So I'm not asking for landing permission because they just assumed they didn't have any radios there. At least they prepared some parking slots for us here. 2 lakes here, don't want to end in them. Oh, P-47s are still following me, okay. Hope they don't crash into. Okay, this will be my approach here. Downwind leg. Extend a bit the southern parts of the settlement there and come around this little island, forest island here. Full flaps, base leg. Aggressive turn here. To be not so good. But the pilot made it out alive and is ready for duty tomorrow. So that was it. Our flight to Vaenga Airfield. Takeoff, very mediocre. Transit was good, I think. Navigation, we found a place, but we crashed on touchdown. Of course, the runway is very uneven here, but my landing approach was not good. Yeah, so anyways, this is Vaenga Airfield. We will start building base here. Already started. Of course, the Russians started preparing some for us. We have some housing here, and more supplies are arriving in the next days. So see you around for our first orientation flight here, getting familiar with the area. Yeah, maybe cause some trouble over the German airfields. So see you around. Bye bye until next time. Firefly signing off.